Hello and welcome back to our studio from New Horizons Festival. My name is Łukasz Mikołajczyk and today I am having a pleasure of talking to Gábor Reisz, the director of Explanation for Everything. Hello.
Hi.
I think there's no better way to start this interview than asking you how were your final exams?
I didn't fail. So I was a really bad student. So it was hard, but I didn't fail. So it was okay. And then I went to the physical education university. It's totally different. I mean, it didn't connect to the film industry. And I also taught after just for 1 year, and then I went to study film history.
Okay, so what made you interested in film? Because, like you said, you after graduating from high school, you didn't like immediately go to that industry. What made you make the decision?
Yeah, but look, in that situation, that wasn't any option because I was a bad student. I really didn't care anything, any subject. Maybe visual art and maybe literature. And I was playing water polo, so it was easier to go to the physical education university. But honestly, around, I don't know, when I was maybe 15 or 16, till that time I wanted to be a painter or graphic designer, something like that. And I never been satisfied with the resume. I mean, I always felt that I really need time. And that was, I think, the point when I realized that I would like to somehow tell a story. And then I wrote terrible songs with my high school band, like punk songs.
What was your name, the name of the band?
It's called Fél liter ingyen, but I don't know how is it English, and it's half liter for free.
Okay.
Something like that. It's on the Coca-Cola bottle was that.
Oh, okay.
And it was a grunge or punk band, and I think how I explode the music and paintings, it was obvious to try the filmmaking. And around that time, it was 1998. Actually, it wasn't any digital filmmaking equipment, so it was really hard. But at 2002 or 2003, I don't remember exactly, that was the first time when we could try Adobe Premiere 1, and that was my first short movie. When I did it, it was, and for me it was beautiful. You know, tell a story. Also, I compose music as well for the movie. I also played in the movie, but it was not a good idea. And I don't know. I of course, I really loved the movies, the cinema. I mean, maybe because of my mother. She wasn't in the film industry, but she told me a lot of story about film history, and you know, she showed me Fellini and people like that. So something like that.
Okay, and you already mentioned Adobe Premiere 1, so editing software, and I have heard that on different festivals there was a longer version of the film compared to what you are showing us today. So where did that come from? Why was it shortened?
Okay, I really need to mention it that the first version of this movie was 3 hours 20 minutes,
Whoa.
and I cut it in a month. Just me. I mean, I made the first version. I was the editor, and we applied to the first cut lab. It's a lab for international lab, and it's really good in this terrible situation when you finished your first cut and you really don't know how to continue the editing process. So we applied there, and we were really lucky because at the lab there are really nice people, and we met with one of the Venice Film Festival programmer, and he loved that version,
Oh.
the more than 3 hours version. And so, but we also know that it's really hard, but somehow we need to drop out a few scenes, and you know, and the 2.5 was the best around that time that I can do. So we applied with this version to the Venice Film Festival because it's a distribution matter thing. And we when France bought the movie, I mean for distribution, they asked me to, what am I thinking about, to cut out a few scenes. I mean, maybe it's, if it could be a little bit shorter, it's much more in the French cinemas. And it was really easy. I don't know. Have you seen the movie?
Yes. Yeah.
Because okay,
It doesn't
you
feel
saw
like
the
it's-
2 hours version, but
Yes, it doesn't feel
Okay.
like it's missing anything. So
Yeah.
I only got to know that there's a longer version yesterday after the screening when I was
the
reading
longer
about it.
version, it's a little bit the first part of the movie. It's a little bit like slow cinema.
Ah, okay.
It's a little bit it's slower, and especially the day of Monday, the first day in the movie.
Okay. Sticking to the Monday, I noticed that you tend to change like details in the scenes when we have the same scene happening from perspectives of few characters. There are small things that don't really match. And how did you decide to do it like that? What was the reasoning behind it?
Well, during the editing process, I decided, because my co-writer asked me to start to write about the first day, but before the exam. And when I finished the first day of Abba, I wrote in first person singular. And I started with the father also on Monday, about Monday. It was obvious that it's not the same day. I mean, even if there are situations which could repeat it, but I could not, and I realized that this is the moment when we could explain that these people are different, different feelings, different fault, and everything is different, and different aspect, and of course different kind of, I don't know, approach to politics. So yes, something like this. Also, I started to think about the camera work, that we always need to follow these characters and use a lot of subjective shot.
Okay, yes, your film is like very subjective, I would say, because you went for this blend, like really well made blend of very personal storytelling about like personal dramas and personal problems, kind of coming of age even, with this really out there political satire. And I noticed that you are really bold in how you comment the politics, because you don't like change names, you don't dance around the subject. You really went there with laughing at them, and it's not something we see in cinema very often. So,
I think it's just in Eastern Europe. Yes. I'm sure that, I mean, sorry that I interrupt you, but I think in France, in the United States, in Italy, it's much more easier. And that was my problem when I started to just think about this movie, that why we could not mention these characters, these politicians, and why we could not talk about it. I mean, I don't know how was it in Poland, but in Hungary it's kind of taboo. And I'm sure that one of the reasons is maybe because the film fund, the National Film Fund, usually somehow connect to the government, of course, because they have money from there.
Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to ask. Was there any pushback for that? Like, do you feel that there will be consequences for financing your next film after being so out there with the political commentary? Because in Poland it's the same with the National Fund being connected to whoever is running the show at the time. So do you feel that that there will be repercussions of such decisions?
Well, first of all, when I made my first feature, it was a graduation movie at the end of the university, and it was a first feature, yes, a feature movie. We got money just for a short, so the budget was almost
non-existent.
Yeah. And I really love this kind of filmmaking, because this is how I started to learn about film, and and I think I really like the aspect of amateur movie making, because when you explore every day everything, I don't know, for me it's much more enjoyable. And so maybe it's the personal reason, but the second is the situation in Hungary. It's they never mentioned officially, but I think there are kind of blacklists, so I'm never afraid of that, because I'm sure that if this blacklist that exists, I'm on this list.
You are already there, like, for years.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why. I never been a person who I never been a kind of I made any political speech or something. Actually, didn't really care anything about politics.
Yeah, because that's also like the I think the meaning of the film, right? That we would like to stop caring about politics. We would like to stop mentioning, like, connecting everything to this political outview, and that's like a really good statement to make in the times that we are living in.
No, the problem. So sorry.
Yes.
Again, but for me the problem is that the polarization is so terrible that now we could not find any topic which is not connect to the politics, and because of that, and because of the polarization, it's always about this simplified story, that the good and the bad, and it's crazy, I think, because there are normal people on every side, even if sometimes they are manipulated or something.
Yes, we really tend to stop seeing a person on the other side, right? Like we are just thinking it's us against them, and we are people, they are like brainwashed puppets or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they think the same.
Yes. Yeah, we have like the same problem in Poland. Like it's been terrible for the last few years, but we don't really have any filmmakers that are bold enough to make a movie like this. So I really congratulate you on that. And I have this reflection that Hungarian films, Romanian films, and Polish films are all pretty. They all have like the similar vibes to them. And do you enjoy movies from these countries?
Especially from the Romanian new cinema in the last few years. I mean, I don't know. The Romanian cinema started around, I don't know, 2005 or 3. I knew a few Polish movie, but please don't ask to mention any because I'm really bad in this. But yeah, maybe I could imagine. Also, maybe the Serbian movies, or I think there is kind of, I don't know. When I was in 2050, I was for half year in Paris in the cinema in the residence of Cine Fondation by Cannes, and I don't know why, but everybody who was from Eastern Europe, it was like we talk the same language. Of course, it was English,
Yeah,
but
we like share experiences, right?
yeah, yeah.
We all carry this like kind of post trauma. I
Of
think
course.
of like
Of course, usually are the same. Yeah.
yeah. And where I was really going with this is you mentioned that you've been on tour with this movie for almost a year now. So you had a chance to see how it resonates in Italy, more on the western end of the Europe, and more on the eastern end. And do you feel that that this is kind of a movie that people from West will not fully get?
With my first and second feature, my experience was that at the Eastern European country totally understand our movie, and around when I started to think about that movies and when we shot it, I thought it that I don't care the international career of this movie because I thought it that it's a Hungarian specific something. And with this movie, I thought it the same when we shot it, but this lab that I mentioned, the first cut lab, it was the first experience when I realized that no, it's kind of universal problem because this Italian programmer started to talk about the Italian situation, and when we went to Spain, to the United States, to Australia, to France, to Slovakia, Romania, it's the same situation, a little bit. Of course, in Hungary it's different because our regime, I mean the right-wing regime, it's now, I don't know, 14 years ago, they get on they are the government, but I mean polarization, it's a universal problem. And this approach to how can we talk about politics, how serious is that, something like this. And it's absolutely surprised me. It's
yeah, because like you said, it's really universal topic, but made in very Hungarian way, I would say. So I was just wondering about that. And last question, keeping in the topic of this movie being on tour for 1 year, it must have been really exhaustive for you to tour with it. So I imagine that you would like a little time for break. But are you planning on something new already?
not yet, but it's a basic question. If, especially if you know if you present your movie in different festivals, or maybe from the moderator, it's a usual question that what is the next?
Yeah.
And it's impossible to start to think about the next if you are live like I don't know a character in Lost in Translation. It's a little bit like that, but I really want to start to write, but don't exactly know what is the topic. Yeah, something like that. And I also teach in Cluj in Romania, so I traveled a lot in this year, so yeah, I need a break.
Okay, so I will not be bothering you anymore. Thank you so much for coming and speaking with me, and thank you all for watching. See you in the next interview. Bye.
Thank you.